into it and not waste your guys' time today. So this was on my heart to talk about. And of course, you guys already know, if there's ever any questions about health, fitness, mindfulness, I am happy to answer any of your questions. Also, I do have a new mic. Let me know down in the comments if you can hear me. That would really help me out. But yes, this was really on my heart to talk about. I came across this, I guess you could say, article, but it was on Instagram, and it was on the Wealth app. And I feel like that's a pretty legit Wealth app, the Wealth page, right? And I felt like it's, the Wealth Instagram page is decently legit for, accurate information. Of course, you always have to make sure to check like 10 different sources before really confirming that something is, completely legit, right? But I came across this article, and I wanted to share it with you guys because I was really slightly disturbed, and I was just like, I don't know really what authority I would have, if any, to talk about this, but I think it relates to all of us in some way, shape, or form, because we either know people in this position, we're in this position ourselves. I know I don't have too many. I'm trying to find the article. I should have just had it up and ready to go, but you guys know how I roll. I just like hop on, something's on my heart, I just pop on and get it popping with the message that I have to offer you. So pretty much it was saying, I wanted to read it verbatim, but as I'm trying to find it, what it was saying is, oh, here it is. Okay. So this was the, I guess you could say, meme or article that I came across. And it says, 1 in 3 Americans between 18 and 24 have no income. And I was like, that's interesting. So I went to read a little further, and it says, growing number of Gen Z people named disconnected youth. So first of all, the fact that a generation would even be called disconnected youth, I think, is really just kind of devastating. And I feel like we as a society have really dropped the ball if that's what we're calling them, because ultimately, if they're disconnected youth, the generation before them and before us is the one that's supposed to be influencing them. So there should never even be an existence of a disconnected youth. Okay. So furthermore, it says, the disconnected youth are neither working nor pursuing higher education, with over 1 in 3 Americans aged 18 to 24 having no income, according to a recent study from the St. Louis Federal Reserve. This trend is accompanied by a decline in college enrollment rates and stagnant incomes for younger Americans, raising concerns about their financial stability and mental health. So I don't know why that struck me. Of course, we see so many things like this online all the time, but it struck me because I was like, whoa, that is just so not the reality of when I was in that age bracket. When I was, in the age of 18 to 24, I was on fire. Well, I'm still on fire for life, but you guys know what I mean. When you're 18 or 24, if you're in your, your 30s to 40s, your 50s, you guys know what I'm talking about. There's just nothing like that time, because you're officially an adult at 18, at least in America. I'm not sure about other countries, but you have no wisdom. You have no wisdom, even if you're smarter than others or maybe more mature than others. You literally cannot acquire wisdom without going through the years of your life and going through different scenarios and experiences and things like that. So when that time is such a potent, rich, it's just, you have the energy level that you have for being on fire for life, because what it is, it's more magical. Like, there's just, you don't know what to expect. You have all these dreams that you have wanted to accomplish in your life, and you're like, okay, now I'm on my own. I'm technically an adult. I don't, I'm not living with my parents, or I'm allowed, maybe you still live with your parents, but you're not allowed, you can be, give yourself permission to move out, is what I'm trying to get out of my mouth. And bottom line, the point that I'm trying to get at is, when I was at that age, I was just such a dreamer. And my, like, what would I call it? What would I call that time period? Just like this, I don't know really how else to explain it, other than when you're 18 to 24, because you don't know what's to come, you're just really excited, right? Like, you're down to try new things. You're down to have late nights and early mornings. You're down to, you know, if you're invited here, you're down to go. If you get an opportunity here, you're down to try it out. It's like you just have so much. I always say this. I feel like God made us, like the 20s is like the perfect training body for life, because you just have all this like energy pumping through your body, but you're an adult, so you have like, you can take care of yourself in the world, but you still don't have the wisdom yet. So it's going to take some time, but you still have like that energy, like this potency of energy rushing through your body, and you make a lot of mistakes, right? But it's almost like God made it that way because he knows you're going to make a ton of mistakes. And honestly, the mistakes kind of don't stop, which is kind of crazy. Maybe not the same mistakes over and over, but you have, you experience other mistakes. I'll just say that. So it's like you think you have it all together in your 20s, you're like, the 30s are going to be my thing. And it's like you have a whole nother set of learning experiences to have. That's just life. So just to let you know that. But the reason why this article was so disturbing to me was because I remember that time being such a beautiful time in my life and my friends around me. And this is really for anyone that is, number one, if you're 18 to 24, if you're listening to this, please make sure to listen to the end. Also, if you are someone that is older than that bracket, I want you to make it a point to reach out to anyone that you know, and just to do a double check on them, to say, hey, look, like, how are you doing? What's your financial situation like? What's your, what are your dreams, your goals, your aspirations? Like, I need you to do a tap in. Like, even if you work with someone, say if you're in your 30s or 40s or 50s, and I don't know, well, okay, in the article it says that they don't have work, so never mind. These are for people that are in the aged 18 to 24 that are not working. But if you are around a human being that age for some reason, a neighbor, a family member's, in-law, someone, like, you go to an event and there's a person with that age, it's our job as the I'm not going to say the elders of the community, but I mean, yeah, essentially it's like, it's our job to just like kind of double check on our neighbor, right? Like that. I just feel like that's just missing this during this. And again, I told you, I don't know what I'm going to say with this, but I just know it's heavy on my heart. And when I was that age, that wouldn't have been an option. Like, it wouldn't have been an option for me to have no goals, no dreams, no job, no college education. Now, you guys know me. I am constantly talking about not only having a job, right? And not only going to college, but having something, some direction, some movement somewhere, right? Whether because you're going to go on different paths, and you're going to try and you're going to mess up, you're going to try and you're mess up, but that's part of life, right? But now it's seeming like the 18 to 24, they're scrolling their life away, right? And there's all this comparison. During that time of my life, I always, when I think back, I'm like, how did I do all the stuff that I did? I was on 2 different dance teams. I was on a professional dance team for an arena football team. I was on a professional hip hop team where we traveled around the city and performed. I was, part of different clubs. Okay. I was on the honor roll. I had an academic scholarship. I also worked. I was a server. So I was doing like 5, 6, 7 different things during that 18 to 24, that bracket of my life. And to think that there's a huge gap to where we're literally calling them, in this article, it's calling them the disconnected youth. I mean, the fact that, like, this is, when you think of someone 18 to 24, this is what you think of them in front of a monitor. And really what this 18 to 24-year-old should be doing is going out in the world and experiencing, like, internships, like trying things and messing up, exploring, right? Like, they're not supposed to just be vegetating, watching the world happen through screens. And of course, it's easier for me to say because I didn't grow up during that time, right? But I think it's really scary to see that this is now called the disconnected youth, because this age group right now is gonna be, in the next 15, 20 years, they're gonna be heading into their, late 30s and 40s. What's the world gonna look like when we have a group of adults that were supposed to be trained and brought up the correct way, right? Meaning self-sufficient, you know, um, disciplined, having a level of discipline for themselves, having some kind of strategy in life, being kind, some kind of health consciousness. Like, it's our job, right? Whether you're a sister, a cousin, an auntie, an uncle, whether it's your kids, like you might be listening to me. I know that I'm at the age where I definitely have people I went to high school with that now have kids that are 18. They had kids when we were in high school. If you're watching this, check on your kid, or even if you have a kid that's 13, 14, 15, 16, like, it looks like this is where they might be heading if we're not checking on them. And the thing is, a lot of us are, this is why I said it's like, I want to take accountability for this being an issue, even though I don't have any kids. I don't have any kids yet at all. But definitely, I will. I'm on God's, me and God are right here with that. But, I have really young nieces and nephews. It's like, okay, who are you, Ciana, to be saying that you're taking accountability? But I think if you are 30 and up, if you're, 28 and up, 29 and up, it is your job to just tap in with this group of people that are 18 to 24 that have no reality of really what they're not doing in their life, right? Like, they're not setting themselves up for success. They're not nurturing a good future for themselves, right? And we're like, the reason why I think it's part of our fault is because we're part of the problem too. Like, 30-year-olds, 50-year-olds, 60-year-olds are also scrolling. Like, we're also scrolling just like them. So, while maybe before, if I was with my mom, at 18, like, when I try to think of, like, if I would go out to lunch with my dad, we were not on our phones. The internet wasn't even on our phone like that. Like, I think you could literally just, no, yeah, the internet, when I was 18, the internet was not on our phone. I don't think that you could start, like, being on apps and stuff until I was, like, in my mid 20s or late 20s. I'm not sure. But, we had conversation, right? Like, I was being held accountable. So what's going on with school? What's going on with this? Even at 24 years old, you know what I'm saying? I'm having conversations with my grandma. I'm having conversations with my mom. What's going on with work? What's going on? Da, 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 da. I graduated college at 22, actually. So I was ready to get out of there. I was like, I'm doing summer school, and I would take 4 classes every summer school just so I could graduate in 4 years. I was like, this is cool, but I'm ready to just kind of move on. But I just want us as a society to really wake up and just see what the internet really is doing to us socially, mentally, and, like, take it really serious, because it's getting scary. Like, there should not be any generation that's called the disconnected youth. Like, the youth is supposed to be the 2.0, 3.0, 4.0 version of us, right? Like, just like me and you right now, if you're in the 30s, like we're the 2.0 version of our parents, right? Like, we're the upgrade. Like, it's supposed to always be a software upgrade, right? So at least, like, that's, you would hope that all of us would want the next generation to be better than the next generation. Hi, Hallie, how are you? My daughter is 18, works part-time, and just graduated with an associate's degree last week. That's awesome. She's 18 and already has an associate's degree. That's awesome. She definitely uses her phone too much, but I think she's still connected to reality. Yeah, see, well, thank God for your teaching. And again, like this, because when I read this, I was like, okay, let me just think about my immediate people that I know. Like, who do I know that's in that age bracket or, like, on the way? And I don't really, like, everyone in my family is a little too young, or they're, like, around my age. So, like, I'm in my personal tight community. Doesn't really have, I don't have a lot of people I'm connected with, but I do know that when I was a district manager, I managed people that were 22 years old, and I was like 29. So it wasn't like a humongous age gap, but it was enough. And again, the scrolling culture like was starting to like pick up. So, they were still really driven and things like that. This is like something I feel like that's kind of on the newer side. Like the last 5 years are probably really documenting, okay, these children that are like the first wave of adults now, we're like they grew up on the internet, and now we're seeing what they look like as they're coming into being a new adult. Like this is our first wave of that, right? So it's scary to me. Like I just think it's unfair. I think it's sad. I don't, that point of your life, you're supposed to be, it's like you're an adult for a really long time, but you're not a young adult. Like you're not a young adult for a long time, right? It says, yes, I homeschooled her and she graduated. Oh, that literally me and my mom always talk about when I have children, I want to homeschool them too. Like that's if they want to. I think it's very smart. I've heard just so many good things about homeschooling and how what it's really doing for kids, especially in this time period. It's scary out there, or like going to a private school or things like that. But to be 18 and to 24 and they're disconnected, they don't want to work, they don't want to go to college, they don't, and they just don't want to do anything. Like they just want to, again, this based on this, of course, it varies between communities and demographics and things like that. But this is a general statement of an overall study that the Gen Z disconnected youth are not pursuing any higher education, and they have no money. Like I don't know if like maybe I'm like, well, then where are they getting the money? Like, like what are they doing? 18, I get it, but like 22, 23, 24, like I wasn't getting any money from my mom or dad. At 22, I started paying for rent at 22 years old. The first time I literally went to a landlord and was like, here's rent, was when I was 22 years old. I believe that was a good thing. Some would argue maybe, oh, that's a little still too young, because I know I've seen some things now where, there's like this wave of like, we shouldn't really be kicking our kids out at 18, which I actually agree with. So that's a whole nother layer, a whole nother stem to like the bigger tree. But I think it taught me grit. It taught me discipline. It taught me responsibility. It taught me that, okay, you can have fun, you can do, explore, do things, but you need to make sure you have your stuff in order, right? Like have all your affairs in order. I definitely was a mess in my 20s still, but rent, things like that, I never had an issue with, thank God. I was taught really well with that kind of stuff. But I think that to not have any idea on how to pay a bill or no money, which I'm assuming, again, I'd have to really dive deep into the actual study, but to have no income, not paying no bills, and not pursuing higher education, and then that's fine, don't pursue higher education, but are you going to go after a trade? Like, are you going to become an expert at something? Do you want to dive deep into, do you want to be, a lifeguard? Like there has to be something, right? Like, do you want to pursue singing? Do you want to be an actress? Do you want to, like whatever they're doing in front of this computer? Of course, this is just like an AI generated photo or whatever. But like that is what that age group looks like. They're just sitting in front of a computer. What are they looking at? Like, right? Like, what are they? If anyone is of that age, I know I have a small percentage of young men and women watching me that are in the 18 to 24-year-old bracket. What are you? If you are working, please let me know. If you are pursuing, a goal or a dream, let me know down in the comments, because I really want to. I just want to get like my own. What is it? Litmus test or whatever. I want to do my own like poll just to see. Okay, because I don't really. I'm like, okay, who could I call that's that age? And I literally don't directly know anybody. So I think that's why it shot out to me, because I'm like, whoa, is this like what's going to be happening with my nieces and nephews? Like, is this where they're heading? And so life is already, see, this is the thing, life is already difficult, and it doesn't really get easier as you age, right? It just, you have more responsibilities that get packed on. So there has to be a level of discipline and grit and like just your emotional intelligence. I always talk about that on my channel. Your emotional intelligence, where you can handle as things get layered on in life. You have more. You have the skill to be able to handle it, right? But if you're not doing, like, during 18 and 24 is when I learned how to show up to work on time. I learned that showing up to places on time was important, right? I learned about, if I say I'm going to do something, I better show up and I better do it, because I have to trust if I don't trust my own word, how am I going to trust other people, or how are other people going to trust me in life, right? In any scenario. I learned to multitask, right? I became an excellent multitasker. I learned how to conflict resolution, right? Like, what are you doing? 18 to 24 is when you are an adult, like you're an adult legally, but you're in training of being an actual adult. And you guys know what I'm talking about, that's in your 30s and 40s and 50s, right? So I'm just really concerned. And what'd you say here? It says, it's really good as long as they still have a way to socialize with good peers. Yes, absolutely. At 22, I was married and pregnant with my daughter. But it's like, but even as a mother, that's the best job in the world. It's like, you have to you have to learn multitasking, you have to learn responsibility. I mean, there's a ton of different things that you have to learn, right? Like when you're a mom. So it's like, that's still something, the fact that these kids are just like scrolling their life away. I'm just like, what is the millennial generation the last of it? And then we're going to have a bunch of like, kind of like zombied out kids. Like, it's kind of, or young adults. It's kind of just a little scary to me. I think parents play a big role in this. You have to give kids responsibility and let them know that they have to make something of themselves. Yeah. And that's why I was like, even though I'm not a parent, I just feel like I think that we all should take ownership in this, because there's no way a whole generation should be considered the disconnected youth when there's hundreds of millions of adults that are living, that like have watched this happen. It's because we need to get off the scrolling as well. Yeah, maybe we might have our careers in order. Yeah, maybe we're kind of settled in life, and maybe the bigger dreams that we had, or we're kind of settled in like where we're at. But that doesn't mean like we don't need to be, like, I just feel like the time of wise counsel, when people used to wise counsel you, like back in the day, hi, when people used to wise counsel other people, it's like, it's kind of dying, because the wise counsel wants to scroll. I'm not gonna even lie, even the 60, 70-year-olds want to scroll. I'm not even kidding. Like, there's been times when I've been with my mom, and she's probably watching this like, really, Ciana, that's what you're going to say about me? Well, I have the best mom on the entire planet. I'm not even kidding. But it is funny to me, like when we're like out or like at lunch or something, like she'll just be on her phone. And like, I'll just be looking at her like, wow, like the world is like, it's literally shifted, where it's like, I'm like, hey mom, I'm trying to, tell you something. And she's like, okay, what'd you say? And I mean, vice versa. I'll be on my phone and she'll be trying to talk to me too. It's like the phone is like, it's like it's like an organ that's on the outside of our body now, and it's just kind of scary that we grew up with our hands in the dirt, out in the sun. We just grew up with the elements, with putting rocks together and sticks, and and trying to figure out if we could, just like creating games out of the grass and stuff like that. And so I think that really did do something to us. Like, I just feel like we're not so disconnected from reality, but like the 30 and under, it's getting scary to the point where they're being categorized as disconnected youth. I think it's sad. I want to read some of the comments with you guys. It says, let's see, it says, people not taking jobs for 40K. Oh, okay, this is interesting too. Okay, so it says, so someone said in the comments, people not taking jobs for 40K when they need 80K to survive. that is also really true. Like, but it's interesting. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. But you know what? It doesn't take 80K to survive. It doesn't take 80K to survive. The reason why it feels like it takes 80K to survive is because of social media. Keeping up, I gotta have the newest shoes, I gotta have the jewelry, I gotta have the best car, I gotta have the best hair, I gotta have the best weave, I gotta have the best makeup, I gotta have, like, I gotta be able to keep up, I gotta be able to go to a dinner and spend $200 because we're going somewhere that we really can't afford. Like, it does not take 80K. Even today, like, I live in LA. Okay, I live in LA, which is in the top most expensive places to live. I'll say LA County, okay? And the rent ain't cheap where I live, okay? It's definitely not cheap, but it doesn't take 80K to survive in LA. It just doesn't. Like, but if you want to, like, look like you're keeping up with everybody, yeah, it's probably going to take 80K if you want to, have like the newest Chanel bag that's 5K. You know what I'm saying? If you want to have the newest Jordans every time they come out, that's $400, $500, right? If you want to have the newest Balmain shoes or something, that's $1,000, $2,000. Like, yeah. So from that perspective, I think that's where the problem is that maybe, I don't know, maybe the kids, maybe the 18 to 25-year-olds or 24-year-olds are feeling like, okay, I don't want to work at all because I just know if I do get a job, I'll have to work 8 hours and I only get $40,000 worth of income a year. And, like, that's just not enough. So I'm just, like, not going to do anything. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. It was on my heart to just bring up, and maybe I don't necessarily have an answer for this, but I do want to just give out encouragement to those that are watching that are that age. I'm telling you, okay, I am telling you, those are the most potent years of your adult life. Do not spend it scrolling away. Do not compare yourself to anybody, because I'm telling you, I live in LA. It's a bunch of smoke and mirrors. Literally. Like, I'm going to even start doing it. I kind of started doing it a little bit, but I'm going to start a series on my channel where it's like kind of like uncovering the other side of Los Angeles, like people that kind of just worked normal jobs like me that never really cared to really be in the industry. I did have those aspirations when I was younger. Like, I definitely wanted to grow. Like, I actually came across something in my childhood box, and I think when I was like 7, I was like, I want to be an actress. And then as I, like, grew up and was actually in this area, I had no desire. What you have to do and the chase for it, I didn't have the passion for the art of it. It's a very beautiful art to be an actress or to be a singer or to be, in the entertainment industry. But the filth and the nastiness that you have to go through, not everybody, most of the time though, it just isn't worth it. You have to have a really next level, like, calling on your life to really keep pursuing that. But on the way there, and even when you're there, it's still literally smoke and mirrors. Like, it's camera lenses, it's actual lighting, it's actually smoke, like smoke machines, like for smoke. Like, I'm not even kidding. It's like not even that serious. So I think a lot of times people, the 80K is smoke and mirrors. It's you could get get a good 9 to 5, okay, if while you're still figuring out your entrepreneurial life, get a good 9 to 5, change your friend group, okay, get rid of all the weird, the shade room, what is it, baller alert, all the negative podcasts, get all that crap off of your phone, and just go to the gym, get with some friends at the gym, like, make new friends. You can do this. Like, you don't have to keep up. You will, if you try to keep up. I'm telling you, living in LA, seeing people try to keep up, it's really kind of crazy. So I moved. I'm from Los Angeles. I was born in Los Angeles County, and then there was a huge earthquake, the Northridge earthquake. I was in the epicenter. I was in, like, this major earthquake. So it moved me up to Northern California, where I spent junior high and high school out there. A little bit, I think like 6th grade, junior high, high school out in Northern California. Then I went to college and then I moved back to LA. So I've been in LA my whole life, like 70% of it has been in LA. And when I was going out at 22 years old in LA, in Hollywood and all that, there was people then that were like in their 40s that were like also out, right? I didn't think too much of it. I was like, oh, that's interesting. I would think that you kind of would be done with that by that age, but whatever. Like, I don't know. And then so like when I've gone to events, I've seen, like when I've gone to events, a lot of times, I'm kind of going off on a tangent, but just a quick little thing about LA. A lot of times if you go to an event, like I'll go to a gala or a luncheon or something like that, you then kind of like the whole crowd like will then go to like a lounge or something like that. So I've gone and still seen people partying like as if they were 22, and those same people, they're now and they're like headed for 60, still trying to just keep up. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. I'm telling you, do not, like, it's a battle you'll never win. So if you're 18 or 24 and you're struggling with that, or you're thinking about this and you're like, I just don't know where to start, the world is really hard, it seems like everybody else has it together, everybody just posts their highlight reels. Trust me. Even on my Instagram, like my Instagram is very Instagrammy. It's just like me at an event, me, out when I'm like feeling cute, right? And then for people that vibe with me over here, that just like more raw, real, uncut, normal, natural, whatever, this is what my YouTube's, people can see me from my Instagram to my YouTube, but I have even my own. It's very like Instagrammy, right? Don't try to keep up. It's a battle you'll never win. So, what else are you guys saying? Also, too, while I'm about to read your comments, make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Make sure to send my page to anyone that can, this can help. I have other videos where, I talk about health, fitness, mindfulness, or just other topics. I don't really talk about the youth and things like that, but this was just on my heart. I'm also giving away a free treadmill, like a dope, thin walking pad treadmill that has literally changed my life. I no longer have to worry about walking 10,000 steps a day. So please make sure to enter on the giveaways on my community tab. You'll see a picture of a treadmill. And so just enter. And you have to, the only stipulations, you have to be in the United States. So that's the only thing. But you just enter in your email and that's it. And then you're signed up with my email list and you're automatically entered in to win this. And I will say the chances are really high because I haven't been on live a lot to talk about it. So there's still there's still not a lot of people that have entered. So definitely make sure to do it. Also, if you're watching this in the future, obviously the giveaway is going to be done, but still subscribe to my email list. Okay. So stay tapped in with me. So what else are you guys saying? Oh, thank you for the compliment. Yes, outside, not on the phones. Yes, it's weird. I'm glad we grew up. I'm glad I grew up before the disconnection. Absolutely, Ciana. We need tips on living well. I spend my days and nights and weekends in the house. I feel disconnected, even though I'm not 18, 24. You know what? I'm not gonna lie to you. I have gone through a season, like, and kind of still in it a little bit, but in that season too, because it's an interesting time period. Because if you're like in your 30s and you're over like the partying life, or maybe you never were into it at all, you have to really go out of your way to like be connected, because it's very easy to be disconnected. So what I do to kind of feel that human connection is I am signed up with a few gyms and I go to the workout classes and I connect with people there. So like my trainer, I love my trainer. I don't really, unless I ever moved from California, which I don't really foresee that, but who knows? I will always be going to my trainer. He's awesome. I also, like tonight, I'll be going to like a birthday event with one of my friends. It's a bowling event. So like if I get invited to something, instead of always saying, nah, I'm okay, I'll go, right? Or like I went and I just actually posted my last post. I posted going to this like a charity event, like a charity basketball. Like there's actually things that go on in the community every city I'm assuming has this, where there's like a list of things that go on in your community, whether it's like something at the park, something at, a venue, something, a basketball game, a football game, whether it's, for no reason, just, and I do this all the time. Instead of working at home, I'll go and have a nice lunch somewhere. So I'll go drive to like a different city, which, it kind of sounds like I'm driving far when I say a different city, but it's like two minutes away. There's a lot of little cities that make up LA County. But I'll go like drive somewhere and go have lunch and work like at a restaurant, and then, meet people that way. Like you just kind of need to create reasons to get out there, What else? Yes, the sacrifices for fame are not worth it. They're really not. Oh my gosh, go for a walk. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I bought some workout clothes today, but that's not living life. But thanks. By the way, Ciana, oh my God, you lost 30 pounds? Wow. Been wanting to tell you, and since you're live, you were driving. Oh my gosh. I am like, literally, that is so dope. I am so proud of you. What did you do? Like, list all the stuff that you did so that way everyone else can see it too. That is so dope. Oh my God, that makes me so happy. I was actually going to do a live tomorrow, but just since you said that, my hair's like, oh my gosh, my hair is just always like a lion. It's always doing something. But I was actually going to talk about that in a live tomorrow, but just to do a quick little tap in because you said that. I'm so excited for you. That is so dope. That is just like the best feeling, because this is the thing. As we age, it gets harder and harder every year to try to get to your fitness goals or your body goals. Like it's difficult. Like it is not an easy feat at all. So I'm insanely like beyond elated for you that you did that. 30 pounds is a lot of weight to do. So I want to know everything that you did. I want to know everything that you did. But what I was going to say is that when there's been some other people that have really struggled with losing weight, and we're going into summer now, 2024, summertime, there's more pressure to like, have your arms out, have your legs out more, whether it's a pool party, whatever, right? And or we just see more skin, so we feel more like, oh my gosh, like, I need to kind of get it together. Whether we see people just out in crop tops and whatever. And I think people struggle because there's a lot of like, the only way I can explain it is like, there's a lot of tilling that needs to happen. Like a lot of tilling the ground. I know this is like getting kind of biblical. Like I feel like whenever I think of tilling, I think of like tilling the ground, like in Bible terms, but it's like, you need to make sure your foundation is solid before you can really overcome and actually achieve the goals that you want to with losing the weight. A lot of times people will put good habits on top of a bad tilling of the ground. Does that make sense? Like you'll try to like eat healthy and like have, I don't know, fruits and vegetables, like go to the grocery store, buy a bunch of fruits and vegetables, and then there's still a bunch of cookies and ice cream and everything. Of course, when you get home and you see cookies and ice creams, you're gonna want to have the chocolate chip. Like it's just, we're human. Like that's just what it is. Sugar is very addicting. So I feel like there's a lot of not setting yourself up for success. You need to till the ground. You need to till your environment. No junk food. Like it just is what it is. Like if you're struggling with losing weight, why is there chips in the cupboard? Like I had to do this with myself. So I'll do a whole nother live on that. Probably tomorrow or sometime this week. But I really want to get people to wake up and like they're not taking dominion over their life. Like they're not declaring like I will lose the weight. Like I'm losing the weight. I am refusing to live life with the extra weight, right? You guys, I've actually been posting, I'm sure you guys have seen it. I have like hundreds of hours of footage of me on my own fitness journey. And some videos, it's kind of, I'm posting it out of order just because of how it is in my camera roll. So some of the videos are I'm going to look more like shredded, and then some of them I'll probably look a little thicker because I was like bulking up, doing the bulk up thing, which I was new to. But I'm even for me, I was like, I'm doing this. I'm getting up at 5 a.m., 4 a.m., or sometimes when I was tired, me and my master trainer at that time, I would have to meet up with him at 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock. I don't want to like do a hour and a half fitness training at night, but I spoke over myself. Like I spoke life into myself. Like just like how God, like, you know what I'm saying? Like in the Bible tells us to do certain things with our voice, with our we speak things into, um, just the power of our voice is more than we think. The power of speaking life into ourselves. And if it's like, I just suck, I just can't do it, I just love to eat, I da 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 da. I have a husband, I have a wife, they cook this all the time. We always do this all the time. We always go out to eat all the time. I can't, I have kids, so I can't. It's like all of that is just a bunch of excuses. Period. Like, oh my God, I'm getting older. Blah, 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 blah. It's no. So I feel like there's a lot of tilling the ground. Like you got to just get the crap out first, and then like don't even work out. Like that's what I was gonna say in my next video. Like just don't even work out. Spend the first like 45 days tilling the ground, just setting yourself up for success to actually lose the weight, because you're not going to lose the weight when you have the same exact setup in your house, in your kitchen, right? So if you have kids, if their snacks are mixed in with your snacks, but then you expect to eat healthy and then just keep, all of a sudden you're going to wake up one day and just like the snacks are going to be invisible to you. No, you're going to buy the healthy groceries and then they're going to rot in the refrigerator, and then you're just going to eat the snacks, and then you're going to complain that you're going to start on Monday again, and the whole cycle just starts all over again. So yeah. Um, thank you so much. I've been fasting 16. Okay, periodically. Bomb. Meat, dairy, meat, carbs. Oh, cutting out dairy, meat, carbs. Bomb. Dairy. Oh, it's crazy how much dairy affects us more than we think. I also had the month of Ramadan where I was only eating once a day, sometimes just various things, but I want to keep going and lose 20. Oh my gosh, that's so awesome. Yes, that's what I love about fasting. I actually so anyone that is wanting to lose 20, 30 pounds, do what Hallie did. I'm telling you, it's fasting is insanely amazing. I know even for me, I'm more like my fasting journey didn't start from a spiritual perspective, but it definitely has turned into part of my spiritual perspective. Even with me, like reading a lot more about fasting in the Bible, it's like fasting has been around for millennia, and I don't know why every human being on the planet just isn't a part of it, because it's the regenerative process that your body goes through with your cells due to fasting is it's like it's like a superpower that humans just have that we don't tap into. So I love that. Oh, you're trying to gain weight? Oh, must be nice. Must be nice. Must be nice. So I gotta get ready to go to this little bowling thing, but I just want to get on here and say that again. I didn't really have anything profound to say about the 18 to 25, 24 issue. But if you're listening to this, just reach out for help. It's okay, because I don't think that I don't, people in their late 30s, 40s, 50s, I think because most people during in that age group are settled in their life, they're thinking that 18 and 24-year-olds are going to figure it out just like Okay, can you guys hear me now? You guys should be able to hear me now, I hope. But thank you for telling me that. Okay, perfect. Yeah, so I think my this just died, my microphone died. I'm trying to get in the habit of using this more because it does make the sound a little bit more crisp, but reach out to the 18 and 24-year-olds in your life. That's it. Let them know that you're there for them, to be a shoulder for them to just guide them on, complain on, cry on. If they're confused, they probably are super confused. I think we all can agree that during that age, you're just like a little baby, like popping into the out of the literally out of a. Even though you're not a baby, but you kind of like are in like real life, you know. So you're just like, so everything's so new and exciting and scary and like weird and amazing and epic and trash and cool, and it's just everything all at once. So anyways, make sure to follow, or make sure to subscribe. Make sure to tap in with my free treadmill. Like, I'm like, what? This is a treadmill. I'm giving away a treadmill. It goes under your bed. It can go under your, if your cat, I think it's like that. It literally slides under like tables, couches, beds. You don't have to worry about taxes or shipment fees, none of that. It's just, it's going to show up on your doorstep. So make sure to enter into the giveaway. The last day for the giveaway is May 30th. Yeah, May 30th. So make sure to tap in with that. And that's it. So I hope you guys have a beautiful rest of your evening, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.